Hello everyone. I know I'm late. And I have no excuse for that. I relaxed overly much and I thought I had so much time only to find out, oh my goodness, it's almost 18 hours, 6 p.m. and I'm not even ready, But yeah, I'm here. How have you been? I've been great. I am feeling fantastic because let me try put my usual background of bird song. Yeah, me and bird song. Just a moment. Okay, while this is I'm getting my playlist. Well, I was saying I have this very interesting thought line that I would really love to share with you guys for this evening. It's something really interesting. Like for me, I'm actually excited about it because in the last weeks I've been a bit discouraged. So I was saying this past weeks I got into a period of rest because I needed that. But then after that, coming back on here was a lot of work because I kept putting it off, like, oh, okay, I'm back. I didn't want to cut that video, that live recording. I just had to switch my internet. Yeah, I'm still in that place where I'm still forgetting about that part, like, all the time. I need grace. So I was saying I got to a place where I just felt, really, I don't need to be talking about healing anymore. I think, going around in circles, talking about the same thing, whatnot. I was telling myself a lot of things. But then when I got back here last week, well, this week came with something so interesting for me. Something that I actually noticed. Oh, this is the cycles. Okay, I'm just noticing my eye is red. I don't know what happened to it. I'm just noticing it now. But then it's not painful, Back to my interesting discovery. So when I was busy whining about why I should come back on here and be talking about healing and whatnot, I noticed something interesting about this healing journey. How the cycles will always repeat in a generation until someone takes up the mantle to actually decide to heal. I was talking about history repeating itself last week and how someone ought to choose to do things differently when they see history repeating itself. And so I actually noticed that how I had been responding to the pain I had been through in times past. And what I'm finding out now is that people have turned to alcohol and have turned to, behaviors that show they're throwing themselves away. And I was not even aware of it until I consciously took up this journey to heal, I'm now noticing, oh, this is the go-to for so and so, for this person in our family, They've gone for alcohol, which I once did. Yeah, if you check out my previous videos from times past, you'll find out I actually once mentioned that I tried, taking alcohol as, a way of trying to drown my sorrows, yeah. I went that route at some point in my life. But somehow, for myself, like I always say, something always drew me back to the straight and narrow. I couldn't continue in a lifestyle of actually just ending up being a person who's so dependent on alcohol for their feel-good hormones, And now I'm realizing that has been a go-to for people who have been my predecessors, the people who have come before me. And up to today, some of them have not even resolved the things that have traumatized them from their past. They carried so much that right now they're at a place where they're actually at a place of self-destruction, you know. And now I'm seeing that had I not decided to, you know, consciously decided I was going to heal, that was going to be my pathway also. That would mean I would, like, you know, be a conduit, a pathway through which unhealed trauma continues within our families, within the generation. And then someone else probably in the future was going to have to carry this mantle, you know. That was a mouthful, yeah. I hope I didn't lose anyone there. My point really is to bring out, to encourage someone really, like, take up the journey of healing. It may be with you that you know, processed trauma begins to, like, flow through your generation so much that the people that come after you become a healed generation, a generation that's able to handle trauma better, a generation that's able to, you know, handle matters as they come and not bottle them up and not let them pile up so much that they end up self-destructing, you know. That's my encouragement for tonight. Like, be the person who's going to hear this. Probably you are the one in your generation who is being called to this journey of healing the traumatic experiences that have been in your family. How, you know, to sort of like start writing the dysfunction, making those things that have been wrong within your family be right, you know. Like I said, it's not a pretty journey, but then it's one that's worth it really. Because when you are now looking back, like me, I always love to reflect. I always love to pause and actually look where I've come from, you know. You know, parts of the journey that were painful. I was sharing some of those last week. Parts of the journey that have been exhilarating, that have actually caused for me to remain encouraged. I love to look at those parts of my journey. And so when you look at the good, the bad, and the ugly in your healing journey, you realize that you have actually worked on so much and you didn't even realize it. Like I'm saying, myself being able to overcome the need to depend on alcohol for solace, you know, for soothing of my broken heart. Phrases from Mills and Boone, yeah. Yeah, the moment I just chose to drop taking alcohol and just leaving it alone, I actually overcame something that people, my predecessors, some of them failed to overcome and are still in that trap up to now. Some have actually taken it up, you know, as a way of self-soothing from the issues they've been through, from the pain they are experiencing. They've now taken to alcohol and smoking and, you know, those for me, behaviors that seem out of line. That's how I phrase it. I believe it's a soul that's looking for a way to just self-soothe. That's what I believe. That's why I'm so glad I'm at a place where when I notice someone whose behavior seems to be off, I take time to actually just observe and try to learn what's their story, what's their journey, what have they been through that has taken them down this pathway. I'm grateful for that part of how I now handle, you know, scenarios that I come across in my life. I'm so glad I'm at a place where instead of being quick to, you know, they're demon possessed, you know, us churchy people. Most of us churchy people, we are quick to, you know, bring out our Bibles and start, you know, bringing verse after verse, The word of God says this, the word of God says that. But as long as the person we are preaching to has not worked on what's within, I believe that's the part that's of working out our own salvation, yeah? You know, I believe that that's the part where you consciously choose to resolve the pain that you have been through in a fruitful manner. That's what I believe working out your own salvation is. You notice, when I'm throwing a pity party, I tend to like throw myself at the next available guy, you know, or when I feel like I've been dealt with unfairly by life and issues, you know, the issues of life, I tend to start, you know, going on, you know, partying, binging on food, you know, I'm looking for something else that's not taking alcohol. Because the way I'm on and on about alcohol tonight, I am actually wondering, am I actually missing it? Just kidding. Just kidding. You know, what I've realized is that a traumatized soul, when it's crying out, the person is like, people act out. That's the phrase. Yeah, that's the phrase. People act out. They do that, what we would term outrageous behavior, you know, outrageous behavior, like what's out of the norm. You'd hear maybe praises now, going to Lake Harvest every evening. It's a sports club that throws, you know, these live bands, people, you know, imbibing, that's the word, you know, having time out, having their beers, having their, you know, having, we call it joy in Zimbabwe, you know, just going to have, you know, partying till the sun rises next morning, because most of people go there, they come back next morning like that. And then you hear praises there. I've nothing against those that go there, because yeah, people have different tastes for entertainment. It's just not mine. So when you find that someone is doing things that are out of character, that's the phrase I was looking for, it's a cry for help, really. You know, it's a cry for help. And so instead of, you know, doing things that are out of character, how about just taking a pause and deciding, hi Tendai, long time. You Tendai, you've been there. Okay, I'm interested to hear that story. I'm going to look for you in your inbox. Where have you heard about Lake Harvest? I'm glad to have you here. It's been a while, yeah? So I was saying, usually when you find that you are doing things that are out of character, like it's not your usual, take a pause and look within. Why is it that I am, you know, reaching for this sort of, you know, dear, you. I think I'll call you soon after this, because yeah, I'm just excited to see you here. It's been a minute. I know we WhatsApp talk and whatnot, but yeah, there are times when you just need to actually chat. Like me, I'm a voice call person. I love voice calls. I love in-person chats. This WhatsApp texting, it's not really my thing. Or maybe WhatsApp call is even better, because I love conversation like that. Yeah, so I'll see what I can do. Maybe today or tomorrow. It's a promise. Because now I'm interested to know about Lake Harvest and you. Okay, so now my excitement has helped me don't lose my line of thought. Okay, so I was saying, the issue of you acting out of character, when you notice, that's why I always encourage people to live a conscious life, to be fully aware, even when something is not right. Just take a pause and truly really think about it. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling right now? Why am I, you know, what has triggered this line of thought in me? Why am I feeling like maybe angry or disappointed or discouraged? Look for the root for those things. That's how healing starts, really. Because when you resolve those issues, that's you're already at another stage. Like I'm mentioning for myself, I was noticing today that when I overcame taking alcohol, I used to buy myself 6 packs, it must be Smirnoff Storm, the blue one. You cannot believe I know such a. And then, well, the part that I felt to do was to go to a club, but I would just shut myself in a room and then take one after the other until the whole pack is finished, and get into a second one. When I feel like I just need to sleep, I'll just pass out like that. Then tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'm finishing up the rest of the, 6-pack that was left last night, Better believe it, because it was me who was doing that. It was me, you guys. But I'm now realizing now that I actually overcame a portion of trauma within our families, because there are people who I've heard. When I'm also learning that when you start your healing journey, information will actually just come to you. And then you realize, oh, there's that great aunt. They went through this, and they were now a non-alcoholic who was, who would actually be the one to be dragged from the bottle store way after it had closed down, And then you're surprised, like, okay, how come I've never heard of this before? But then it's something that was there. Someone went through trauma in our family, and that was their go-to. Someone is now at the end of their teeth, that they feel like the issue with isolation also, people would tend to see their difficult times as though that's the end of their of their life or of their journey, and it's no use to just be in the straight and narrow anymore. And yet it's because they are refusing to see the bigger picture. That's one thing I'm also learning, because a lot of the times when I was still in that part where I was, in my feelings a lot, I used to really stay away from people like that. I used to not like company, and would ensure that I'm almost all the time, I'm always by myself, and I didn't mind. But because I've been putting myself out there, finding a person or three to talk to about what I'll be thinking, when something upsets me, I'm now able to actually call someone or 2 or 3 people to just let them know, you guys, this is what happened, and I'm feeling this way and that way. And some people are actually able to just help me see better, like just actually laugh at me, like, don't you know this person, that's how they are, that's how they've always been. So when you're the one who's continuing to respond to them in a manner that causes for you to feel pain, then you're not growing. Yeah, that was my young sister. It must be 2 weeks ago. This is what they said, what I was going on and on, and she laughed, you. Yes, Becca used to get it. Okay, I lost my internet again. Yeah, today I'm choosing not to end the live. I am choosing to continue, so you just bear with me like that, because I've noticed that, given that I lost my internet. I had to switch again. I don't know what's happening today. Thank you for staying on, though. Today I don't want to end the live and start again, because I'm already on 19 minutes and I'm hoping to actually stay here for just 30 minutes. It's a way to just encourage someone, like, start your healing journey. The information that you need will meet you along the way. Like I was telling you my example, like I was noticing that the things I've overcome so far are things which some people of the previous generation, the older generation, struggled with and failed to overcome, you know. So you choosing to heal and to do things differently, you may just be the conduit, the connection that's needed for your generation, for your family, to move from a place of, you know, bottling and keeping unresolved trauma into a place where they actually know that when they are they are experiencing trauma, the best thing is to address it and to actually deal with it and not carry things over, you know. Because as long as no one has addressed how you address trauma as a family, you know, it is bound to continue from a place of dysfunction. Yeah, like I mentioned it sometime before, that's what some call, you know, generational curses, what in our